Hello everyone, welcome back to our React series. In this video, I will discuss about state. After that, I will discuss about differences between function based component and class based component. I know I did not discuss this into last video because I need help of state. So without further ado, let's get started. So what is state? State is just a data that your components keep track over the period of time. What do I mean by the over the period of time? So when we work with components, we usually update the state or we'll work with the data. So when components get re-rendered, we want to store the previous values or remember the previous values. So there comes in the concept of a state. So state is nothing but it's like a memory of your component. Let's see some examples, then you will understand better. So you have seen this component into last video. I'm going to extend this one. What I want to do here now is that I want to remember the count value and how I can implement into function based component I will show you here. So to implement that, we have to take help of something called useState. So useState is nothing but a special function which we call as a hook. What it does, it takes the initial value and we can define here the type of this value as well. So here in this case I am saying it is a number. Now what it returns? It returns two things. One is the value, let's call it as a count, and a setter function which can help us to update this value. So here I can say set count. Okay, so this is how you can initialize a state, and this will return you two things. One is the value, other would be the setter function. Now what I want to do it here, I want to first print that value here. So let's say count in a p tag, and I can append using the curly braces the variable. So here I can say count. Now on the click of button, I want to update the count value as well. So let's say count, and on click of I will call that set count or function we can say. So set count function here. So here what I will do, I will take the previous value which is count and I will increase by 1. Now let's head over to browser and see. So here we have a count and here we have a count button, but it is not looking good. Let me give you some style here. Class name busy, and take this one, and let's give some padding as well. Now it will be a little better. Oh, it's too much. Let me give 2, right? So this is my count button. Now I can click on this, it is increasing the count and it is remembering that. So this is how you can implement state into function based component. Now let me show you how we can do it into class based component. So in class based component, what we will do first, we will define the structure of our state. So kind of an interface. So let's call it as a hello state, because this is hello component and we want to define the contract of the state. So here is hello state. Now here also I will have a property called count, and the type of this is going to be number. Now here I will pass the state type. After that, what I need to do, I need to call the constructor which by default take props. I need to use the type definition of props as well. So here I am saying hello props because this was the prop definition earlier. Now what I need to do, I need to call super. So super is going to give us some base functionality for this component. So I'm going to call with all the props. After that, I need to initialize the state. How I can do that? By using this dot state. This is an object, and inside that now count property is there, and I want to set it the value to 0. I want to start with the 0. Now how I can use this value? So let me first copy this skeleton. I want to have the same kind of thing. So here I will put it and we will modify accordingly. So now we want to print the count. So how we will get value from the state? So we can use this, and on this we can call this dot state, which is going to give me the state object, and on top of that I can call the property. So here the count property. Now how I can update that value? Again there is a special method into this class. So if you call this dot set state, so that is the special method, and on this method you can see the property that you want to update. So here I'm trying to update the count, and I can take the previous value. How I can do that? This dot state dot count, and then I am going to increase the value by 1. Let me format this one. Now let's head over to, let me give the color orange for now. Orange, okay. So this is from the class based component. So here also we can increase, here also we can increase. So you can see those values are being remembered. So this is how you can use the state into class based component, and this is how you can use into functional based component. Now I want to discuss about the differences between functional based component and a class based component. So in today's time, if you ask me, there is no difference, I mean, as such. But in older time, when hooks were not supported into functional based component, then there was a very distinct difference between functional based component and class based component. So at that point of time, functional based component were not able to store the values, so it was used as a presentational component, like components will take the props value and then it will present on the screen. So at that point of time, it was known as a presentational component. And on other hand, states were having the capability to preserve the state, so they were called as a stateful component. Today also it's a stateful component, but that was a distinct difference at that point of time. Now one difference today we can say that into functional based component and class based component is you can mimic the life cycle methods, but in class based component it is very much explicit. For example, if you see component did catch, component did update, component will mount, and component will unmount. So all those life cycle methods are there, which is explicit and it is easy to understand, but the same thing you can mimic into functional based component as well. So in today's, there is no much difference between functional based component and class based component. In today's project, you will hardly see class based component. That's all for this video. If you found this video helpful, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you into next video.